All right, so let's take a look at a second example of proving when two triangles are congruent using our side-side-side rule. So remember, this rule says that when we have two triangles where all of the corresponding sides are congruent, that means that the two triangles themselves are also congruent. So here this looks a little bit different than our last example. We've got our two triangles, and our two triangles have formed a rectangle right here. We've got triangle ABC, and then we have triangle CDA. So we want to prove that these two triangles are congruent. They're the same shape and they're the same size. So if you remember, we start off all of our proofs by just writing what we're given. So in this case, we see that side CD and side AB have the same number of dashes, the same number of tick marks. So that means that those two sides are congruent. So let's say side AB is congruent to side CD. That's our first given. Now we also see that side BC and side AD also have one dash mark each, so that means that those two sides are also congruent. So let's write side BC is congruent to side DA. So that's our second given right here. Now, we don't have a third given because notice we don't have any other pair of lines that have the same number of dashes. In fact, there's no other pairs of lines that have another dash. But we also know that in order to use our side-side-side rule, we need another pair of congruent sides. Well, if we look at triangle ABC, we have these two sides, and then we also have this diagonal side in the center. Well, side CDA has these two outsides, but also has this side in the center. In fact, this side in the center is shared by both triangles. And what we can say is if a side is shared by two triangles, that side is the same thing as itself. So we can write a statement that says side AC is congruent to side AC. Well, that makes sense. If you have something, it's the same thing as itself. It is always the same thing, regardless of which triangle it's being used by. So we can write another statement. This isn't a given. This is going to go over here on the other side with what we're finding. So we're going to say side AC is congruent to side AC. So we have two given statements for our two side lengths, and we have one statement that we found for a shared side of both triangles. This side AC is used by our first triangle ABC, as well as our second triangle CDA. So this third side right here in the middle is used by both triangles. Therefore, we now have 1, 2, 3 statements which say the three corresponding sides are congruent. Now we can write our rule out for side-side-side. So by side-side-side, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA. So here, remember, even though this is our last statement, the important part is writing out what our givens are, as well as the new information we found, and the rule that we're using to show our final statement.